I agree, though. On a tactical level, the major concern is United without the ball. And actually, we were lucky to beat Wolves 1-0. We were lucky to beat West Ham. And those results, if they hadn't gone our way, would be probably bottom five of the league. So something has to just change tactically. But I think anyway, let's move on to United. More importantly, what are you thinking?
You think there's going to be like? Do you think there's going to be a tactical shift, or you think he's going to maybe a personnel shift with Ole? I mean.
To be, you know what? I think Pogba being suspended is a blessing in disguise because he won't be shoehorned into the team. I think Bruno's stats mean that you can't drop him, although you probably should and get someone more workmanlike. The team I think they're going to go for is the following. I think they'll go Luke Shaw left back, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, De Gea. I think McFred start in the base of the midfield, and I think Bruno in front of him. I think Sancho comes in. I think he's too scared to drop Ronaldo, and I think Rashford out left. And on paper, that's an amazing team. It really is. But my major concern and the thing we've discussed is what are they going to do without the ball? They need to squeeze. I don't think Lindelof and Maguire have the pace to squeeze. And Varane's pretty fast, but obviously he's injured. So you need to make sure that there's not huge spaces in the middle of the park. But really, like, he needs to just find a way to win. So, I probably wouldn't play that team, but I think he will.
I don't think he's going to shift. I don't think he's going to shift formation. I think it's just going to be players. Yeah, I don't think he's going to tinker with that too much. But I think it's a weird one because Varane's back in training this week,
right?
And it's not like Ollie doesn't rush centre backs back into the team.
Probably shouldn't. It's probably not a good one to rush him back.
But I was thinking about this, and I was thinking that if Varane's back in training this week, he's probably going to start, considering it's an important game. But saying that, even though United have been shy, Lindelof's probably been the best defender in the team. So I think it's difficult to. I don't know. I think it would be unfair to keep Maguire in the team after the last match and drop Lindelof in place of Varane. So I think maybe he will play Varane and Lindelof and drop Maguire. But I don't know.
If fit, like, you need Varane in the team, but I think it's hard for a player when he gets to like 27, 28 to come to a new country, be injured, and just come straight back into a Premier League game against Kane and Son and Moura. So, if fit, then do it. But
there's a difference between what I think Ole will play and the team I think he should play.
Me too.
Like personally, I would drop Maguire and Shaw after that performance last week. I would play De Gea, Tellez at left back, Varane and Lindelof, and I considered putting Dalot in the team, but I think if you have a completely fresh back four, it might be quite risky. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the team, then McFred in midfield, Bruno as a 10, and then I personally would play Rashford, Cavani, and Sancho, and play a much defend from the front kind of style like Ole's done in the past. This is the thing, I think whenever Ole's had players, up until this season anyway, whenever he's had players available, such as like just after lockdown or earlier, it's quite clear the type of football he wants to play.
It's fast, aggressive,
But most of his tenure at United, he's been shoehorning, players into a team just to get results, because the difference is when you manage a club like Manchester United, you have to still be there or thereabouts, regardless of the people that are in your team and regardless of the type of tactics that you play. So it's been a results business for Ole, but I would drop Ronaldo as well. Even though it would be a bit of a controversial thing to do, I just think if you're going to keep Ronaldo, you have to play people around. Like this whole thing, lately where people say, "Oh, Ronaldo doesn't press because he's 36 and he can't." Ronaldo's never pressed.
He's never done it.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
Ronaldo's never been a pressing footballer ever. Like at the various clubs he's been at, when he was at Real Madrid, he had players like Benzema around him that did all the running and the work. When he was at Juventus for in his more effective seasons, he had Mandzukic up front, and he was just to the left of him, who was doing all the work.
Workhorse running,
Yeah, so
Mandzukic, workhorse.
he's always had these type of players with him. And I think if you play Ronaldo, you have to play Cavani. But if you play Ronaldo and Cavani, you can't play Rashford. So, and Rashford is, in my opinion, it's essential, not just to United, but to the type of football that Solskjaer wants to play. Like Rashford is, a really integral part of the team. So if you've got to choose between Rashford and Cavani or Ronaldo, then I'm dropping Ronaldo. But I would.
The thing is, though, like, I mean, if you really think about it, United could easily batter Spurs. You never know, because like you've got like Bruno, Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford. If you can keep like a good organized team, you've got 4 match winners on the pitch.
Yeah.
One of them has comes up with a great day, then you're gonna win. I agree, though, on a tactical level, the major concern is United without the ball. And actually, we were lucky to beat Wolves 1-0. We were lucky to beat West Ham. And those results, if they hadn't gone our way, would be probably bottom 5 of the league. So something has to just change tactically. But for me,
it's a weird one, because because I saw Gary Neville on when he was talking to Graham Souness, and he said, you don't have to be a high pressing team to win. And it's true, you don't have to be. But then he said that United under Ole have never been a pressing team, which is just not true.
But United aren't good enough to be a low block to soak up pressure. So what?
Yeah.
How United have won is to like smash teams on the break, counter attack. They struggle against low block themselves, but like actually, so like the notion that you can carry Bruno, Ronaldo, it's not right, because you're basically playing with nine outfield players at that point.
What United did last season against teams with a low block, and they did it quite successfully, is they played like a mid block, where what they would do is they'd tell the attackers to sort of stand off the opposition's defense. Then they'd let the opposition's defenders carry the ball forward. And then as soon as they make the pass into midfield, then they press. So they make a massive press in midfield, and then they have their attackers break from it. So that, they force the defense to come out, force them to make a mistake, and then counter on them.
To be fair, like Lingard's been really unlucky to not play, because he's a perfect player for that. Like it's literally made for him. And actually, barring the mistake at Young Boys, like he looks like the form he had with West Ham, he's brought it into this season, and on form, he looks like he could be an important player. But again, Bruno's stats mean that you can't really drop him. Ronaldo has scored like 3 or 4 goals, so he's actually in decent goal scoring form. So I understand that. I mean, it's really hard to predict how we're going to play and what's going to happen, because that we could easily be 3 or 4-0 up just from the players' pride, but also like I always think, like, how does your team come back if Tottenham score first? And for me, the major concern is defensively. And it's not just the defense, as you say, it's without possession. How United like pressurizing and closing space, because that pitch at Tottenham's a massive pitch. And actually, they've got quite a lot of good ball players, like who can move the ball. Like Endon Bailey's an underrated player in my view. Like he could be a really good player if he adds goals to his game. So they've got players that can transition the ball rapidly. And if you're giving cheap possession away, and you're also not getting on top of Kane and getting on top of runners, because basically Kane drops deep and they have runners behind him. Like he's often like not the furthest man forward. That's why Son thrives. He's got the legs, he's got the running power, and he's good at he's lethal. So that's like the major concern for United. How do you deal with them and then play your way into the game? Because really, like the worry, what, I've thought about the Liverpool match quite a lot. The worrying thing about it, right, is to be 4-0 down at half time means that like at like 2-0 down, there wasn't anyone on the pitch saying, right, let's just close up for 10 minutes. Like there wasn't that. Liverpool just scored and scored and scored and scored. And ultimately, that's really the biggest concern. And I don't think it's tactical. I think it's the form of most of the players, and specifically the ones who've got a hangover from the Euros. So what are you expecting from Tottenham then?
Tottenham are a weird one. I know they beat City in the start of the season, but they're almost just as dysfunctional as United at the minute, because you don't never know what you're going to get from them, and they're a weird setup. Like when they played against City in the first game of the season, they had like quite a defensive structure. They played quite deep, and then they were hitting City with like really fast counter attacks. But ever since then, they've been playing this sort of slow build-up football, and it's really slow, and it allows teams to get back into position. They end up losing stupid games like the one at West Ham last week. I think they had 60% possession and had 4 shots on target. So it's like really slow.
It doesn't really suit them because they've got some quite explosive attackers.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like Son, you look at Mora, like they have got ability in attacking areas.
It's strange with Spurs. I mean, if we think that United don't have a succession plan for Ollie, like I think Spurs had about 13 succession plans for post Mourinho, and they couldn't get anyone they wanted.
Nuno was like 8th choice, wasn't he? Like,
but they ended
spoken to everyone.
But they ended up like they didn't like Jose Mourinho's style of play, but they wanted someone like they had like a superstar manager in Jose, but they didn't like his style of play. And they were saying things about how it's not about a superstar manager. We want a manager who's a more Tottenham way of playing, like an attacking.
Turned down Fonseca, didn't they? Because he said he was too attacking, according to Fonseca.
But yeah, what they've done is they've ended up, putting out a narrative that they wanted to move away from a superstar manager and focus more on a certain style of play. But they've ended up with a manager who plays just like quite similar to Jose Mourinho, but is a nobody. So they've ended up getting the worst.
He's a decent manager, though. Nuno. He seems like a good person and a good manager. I think the one thing about Tottenham is you think that United need top 4. They also owe 600 million quid, and they need top 4, and they haven't got the commercial revenue United have. And you can see in the transfer window this summer that they only bought Emerson Royal, like basically like a young player from Barcelona who might be amazing, but like they've not really gone into the transfer market. And I actually think they're going to live to regret selling Kane. Kane's value in the next 18 months plummets a lot. Injury prone, he's going to be 29, 30. His value's going down. There's no doubt about it in my mind. So I
do think though, because of the way they performed against City, and because they've got players like Son and Kane and Lucas Moura, etc., that even though they have played like quite a boring, slow build-up play, which can often get 60% possession but never gets you a goal.
Yeah,
they do have the ability to sit back and counter. So
yeah, no doubt.
If I'm sure Nuno will probably play a different way against United than he did against West Ham. So if they do play a sit back and counter style of play against United, then it might be a little bit of a closer game than you'd expect.
The thing is, man, like there's fans in the stadium. They basically need to come on to us, and they can't play like that. Like they're going to get booed off the park, I think. Yeah. So, okay, so I'll go quickly about what I think. I think they're going to play, injuries aside, Reguilon left back. I think they're going to Emerson Royal right back. I think they're going to have the new Argentine defender, whose name escapes me, centre back, Lloris in goal. I think they're going to have Skip and Højbjerg in midfield, Mora, Son, and Kane up top. So I think they'll play like a 4-2-3-1 basically.
Yeah, I think that's been their go-to formation this season. Like I thought he was going to, remember in Pochettino's earlier days, he was playing the 3 at the back when he used to have Eric Dyer as a centre back come defensive midfielder. I was expecting because of his time at Wolves that Nuno would bring that to Spurs, like the 3-4-3 kind of play with wing backs. But he has gone for a more, slow 4-2-3-1 style. Did you say you'd play Ndombele?
Sorry, he'll be the third of the attackers who will be like pushing on.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not sure how they're going to line up, but I think
I
Ndombele will
think
be in there.
I think similar.
He's actually a good player. He's starting to come into some form after his first season being pretty bad. So
Yeah, I think he'll play. I think I've gone for similar to yours, except I think Ndombele is going to play more of a 10, more of a attacking midfield role than he
yeah,
played
I don't think
under
that
Jose.
they'll put him. So I think that's why Skip and Højbjerg will be there, and I don't think they're going to move. They're going to be like their McFred. So I think it's going to be. I don't think that Nuno is a manager that actually is overly attacking. He's very tactically astute, and he'll try and frustrate United. But I don't know how much you can do that in a home game with like a full house against United. And technically, if Spurs beat us and results go for them, they're in fourth. So their bad start, or well, not bad start. They won the first 3 games, but their bad last few matches. They basically could be fourth. So. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. It's a really hard game to predict. It really is. So, talking about predictions, what scoreline do you think?
I think United will win.
What score?
I said United would beat Liverpool, though, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said.
You also said they're going to lose 5-0.
Yeah,
gonna clip that up.
Lose 2-1 or win 2-1 or no. I was say if he played a more defensive structure, then I think we'd win 2-1.
Yeah.
But if he does what he did against Atalanta, we'll lose 5-0.
Well,
it's just that no one in the world expected him to do the exact same thing against Liverpool that he did against Atalanta.
It was a bit headstrong. I mean, United league form, 4 points out of a possible 15 is relegation league form, really, or lower half of the table. So you think United are going to win? What score?
3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
I think regardless of form, which a jump in confidence and things, and hopefully there's been a lot of soul searching at Carrington this week. But if you can have this type of if United go out there trying to with a reaction, then at the end of the day, United are a much better team than Spurs player wise. So if United can get it right on Saturday, I think they'll beat Spurs 3-1. I would say 3-0, but I don't think they can keep a clean sheet.
Definitely, I definitely wouldn't bet the mortgage on them keeping a clean sheet anytime soon. Yeah, I've looked at it quite in detail. I think I know how the match is going to happen, how it's going to play out. I think United are going to come out of the blocks, high energy, and if Spurs can repel United for 20 minutes, Spurs will win the match, because I think that United's confidence is knocked. I think they're under huge pressure, and I don't think Ollie's going to change it up. I think a different manager like a Jose would be practical and say, right, let's just not get beaten here and let's try and nick a goal. I think it goes against what Ollie's trying to do. Unless he's been given some assurances behind the scenes to say, just carry on, it's going to be fine. The reason why I say that is player for player. United have got better players than Tottenham, but the biggest problem after how United are operating without the ball is how United are transferring the ball into the forward areas. I don't think there's any ability to transfer the ball into the forward areas in an efficient way, so something has to change. Like you touched upon it, Bruno needs to play deeper and link the play, but effectively he's playing up front. He's playing as a striker, so he needs to link. He needs to try and get the ball from Fred and McTominay and then link it into Rashford, into Sancho. So I think Spurs are going to beat us, and I think Solskjaer is going to be sacked by Monday morning. I just don't think United are going to win. I think that performance against Liverpool, I still don't want Ollie to be sacked, by the way. Please don't mistake that at all. Yeah. I want him to stay for another 18 months and get more of a chance to buy some midfielders. But that performance against Liverpool, I've looked at it again. I looked at some extended highlights. like Liverpool didn't play very well.
No,
They didn't really do much. They just
that was the
passed
worst bit
through us.
about it. And then the worst thing is, once they went 5-0 up, they stayed in second gear for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they were just in second gear, and actually, like,
that made it even worse.
Yeah, like it made it even worse. Kane scored 1 goal in 7 league games. This could be a game where he comes to life and bags 2 or 3 goals. Like Kane is a lethal striker. There's obviously his stats speak for himself, and he'll fire us. Like he's top player, Kane. Like he's had a slow start to the season, and he generally has a slow start to the season. This could be the game that like he fires. So I think United can lose 2-1, 3-1. And I think if United go behind, they'll panic and chase the game. And if they go 2 behind, they'll panic because basically Solskjaer knows that he's done. Really depressing stuff.
Yeah.
Depressing stuff. But anyway, man, let's wrap it up there. I think United are going to lose. You think they're going to win? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an exciting game. I don't know. You never know with United. They might come out guns blazing and smash 4 past Tottenham in the first half.
Yeah, that's really the only way, because as you say, like, they ain't keeping a clean sheet. But anyway, let's just wrap it up there. Thanks a lot, Ryan, again for joining us. Ryan's on In the Red. Please subscribe to In the Red. We'll try and pop a link below in the description. Please sign up.
Should have a more detailed video about the evolution of Solskjaer's tactics as well.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that tactical video. And yeah, please subscribe to Shaf Man TV as well. Thanks for your support. I've had a lot of support from a lot of subscribers watching and sharing the videos. We appreciate that. Also, it helps with the algorithm if you can like and share this video as well. So we appreciate your support on the channel. And we'll be back with a Tottenham Man United post-match review, hopefully with big smiles on our faces. Thanks a lot for joining us, Ryan, and thanks a lot for watching.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.